Alright, I'm cleaning these things up. I've blued some things before, but this is a lot of work. There's so many. There was someone in the previous videos comments saying that's going to be a waste of time. You're not going to make any money. Yeah, I think he's right. It's not worth it if you're trying to make money. I like kind of doing this and seeing things, you know, start to look nicer. But yeah, this is a lot of work. And when I bought this, I think it was kind of a gamble. So there were, let's see, 5 or 6 of these that were boxed when I bought them. And I was hoping that those boxed ones would have been in pretty good condition. But no, they had like water damage on it and they were all pretty rusty. So let's kind of just take a look at what we got here. So right now you can see these couplers. The couplers have varying amounts of rust on it. I believe the couplers and the extension holder, this thing holds it to the barrel. These are Parkerized. Even though the kit was blued, they're Parkerized. And because they're Parkerized, I think they held up a lot nicer. I just boiled all these and I've just kind of brushed them with this Brownells carding brush that I have. And everything is looking pretty nice actually. So these were all kind of salvaged. Well, okay, like this one has a bit more rust on it, but nothing a little elbow grease probably can't fix. But these will probably, I'm gonna kind of grade them and then just from best to worst, and I'm probably gonna put together the best kits that I have and the and then the worst kits I have, just so I can kind of try to get my money back. I'm pretty sure I can get my money back just by selling the +3 extension tube, and then I also got this +2 extension tube. I just boiled this one and this one cleaned up really well, so I've got a Parkerized set. So if I guess in retrospect, if they were Parkerized, I would probably had a lot better shot, but because they're blued, we got some issues. So let's kind of look at it. So I haven't even kind of sorted this, but what we're generally looking at is stuff like this. So we can see that we were able to convert the red rust back to black rust, but there was lots of pitting on a lot of these. You can see that these shined up real well, and we definitely got this to be darker. But I think going through another boil is not going to fix this. It's, you know, it might make the black oxide layer a little bit thicker, but this is looking pretty rough already. So these are just gonna, when I sell these, I'm just gonna have to be really honest about how bad they are. Here's another one. Okay, so everything else looks good except for this. So there's not much you can do about this. You can sand it, maybe, and re-blue it, but I don't know if it's really worth doing that. Here's one that had a little bit more of the surface rust, so this is actually not too bad. But then on this side, we've got a bit more of the pitting. So let's just kind of sort through these. So this one has pitting, this one has pitting, this one has pitting. They're all pretty bad. This one, I think this was the one that was in nice condition. There is minor pitting here, but it's really minor. You can barely even feel it. So this one's definitely a lot nicer. This one's in pretty good condition except for the pitting on the end right here. I would say this is probably the second best condition so far. Let's keep going through them. This one, some minor pitting on the sides, but nothing too significant. And okay, so this is actually the second one. That other one was the third most. Some pretty bad pitting at the end. Some minor surface pitting. Okay, this is probably number 4. This one, the pitting, there's a lot of pitting. It doesn't look great, but it's not as deep as the other ones. Probably number 5. And this one's not too bad. This is probably number 3 or something like that. Yeah, number 3, number 4. But then, yeah, all these are pretty good. Yeah, there's a few that I need to clean up a little bit more. But I just kind of gave everything a light brushing. When I put the ballistol on it, it also kind of removes some of the rust. Here's some of them, like, there was so much pitting on it. If you look at where my finger is, there's actually some metal removed. But these will all work just fine. So I have no doubt that these couplers are still pretty good. And all of these are also pretty good. They just need to be cleaned up a little bit. But by just boiling them really quick, because it was just this light surface rust, it kind of converted everything. Now that I look at this, some of these look like they're kind of, this one does look like it's blued, and this one does look like it's parkerized. But anyway, we will clean all those up. I don't think I'm gonna really have to sort through those. They all look pretty good. So like here we got some rust here. So here's what I've been doing. I've just been taking my carding brush, just gonna hold it, and then here you can watch it, see if it actually removes anything. There's some kind of technique. It's kind of want to smack it a little bit, but you can see that cleaned up real well. Now you got this nice shiny finish. Here's a little bit of rust here, right on that little ring. Let me just hold it all down so it doesn't spin. There you go. It's not too bad now. So here's another example. So here's some rust on the coupler. You see the orange. So let's see if we can get rid of that by just holding it. Some firm strokes. Believe me, they were a lot worse before. I've been kind of doing this for like an hour. Just watch TV and do it at the same time. There you go. Now, just see nice and black. There's a little bit on the edges here. Inside here, I'm gonna have to probably get a pick and kind of go through it. But I think we've got, I would say, this is my 4th worst one. You know, just disclose it while you're actually selling it. I think we got, you know, we're not gonna sell this for $100, but maybe we'll sell it for 50 or something like that. You're like, hey, you wanna just get an extension tube? Yeah, it's not in the best condition. Maybe you can paint it or whatever, but this will do for just extending it. And, you know, I think these will get a little bit more love. I am missing a few of the couplers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So probably my 2 least, you know, the 2 worst condition ones, like this one. They're just gonna, you know, have to sell them just like this. And again, it's gonna be, this is what it looks like. You know what it is. Do you want to buy it or not? I don't think these are totally worthless. Inside, they seem pretty good, so they'll still work, but cosmetically, they're not gonna be they're not going to be the best. Actually, now I think about it, no, actually, no, that's right. The two worst ones are just going to be sold kind of as is. So, I mean, if you got a Remington 870, it is the most popular shotgun. You're looking for these extension tubes. Yeah, we've got a few, but they're going to be discounted because I don't want to sell these as new. I mean, other than that, they kind of look nice most other places, but yeah, that is kind of not great looking. You'll have to keep it oiled and things like that. So yeah, I'm gonna continue cleaning up. I'll probably give you a little bit of a video right at the end. We're gonna oil these. I don't think it's worth reboiling a lot of these. It's just I don't think we're gonna convert that much more. So we're just gonna kind of brush off what we can, and then we're gonna sell it because I don't really want to waste any more time on holding on to these. We want to try to sell them and see if we can make any money. All right, I just finished oiling everything. I'm just gonna put this towel down so I don't mess up my little bench, but here is everything. So we've got the extension holder, lanyard loop. All these cleaned up really well. Like, we'll just go through a few of them. I just put a bunch of ballistol on them, wiped them off, made sure there's ballistol in this swivel stud. But yeah, they look pretty good. I know that oil can kind of hide the rust sometimes, but I made sure to dry them all first just to see where all the rust was, card everything, and yeah, they look good. Now, I did notice after drying them that these two over here that I put aside, these are parkerized. So you can definitely tell that there's a difference. When they're oiled, they look pretty similar, but when they're dried, these are kind of gray and those will be black. But they look pretty good. So all these are perfectly serviceable. The worst one, let me put these parkerized ones aside so I don't mistake them. The worst one, I would say, probably one like this. You can see there's a little pitting here, but not too bad. Sorry about the greasy hands. But I'm gonna be touching all this, so I'll wash my hands afterwards. So anyway, all these are perfectly serviceable, but let's move these aside. Okay, next, the couplers. I think these turned out pretty good too. Some examples of them. Some of these have just like pieces of towel stuck in it. But yeah, I think they cleaned up real nice. I did take some steel wool and kind of went into the threads, tried to clean them out. I also got like a little pick. Some of them had some rust on it, but I've checked all the threads and they all seem to be working pretty good. Let's just get two more. Okay, look on the inside. And let me get that worst one. Here's the worst one. You can see that some of the metal's a little thin here because there's a lot of rust on that corner, but I mean, most of the threads are perfectly serviceable. So these are all looking pretty good. So I'm pretty happy that those cleaned up well. I think the couplers actually might be parkerized. Yeah, okay, so let's show you the best tubes. So these are the two parkerized ones after being oiled. I mean, they look brand new, basically. So I have a 2-shot extension already, so I don't need this one. I tried putting the 3-shot extension on my gun. Looks kind of weird. If I did get a longer barrel, I guess I could use this 3-shot one. I might hold on to this one. I'm not sure about it yet. This is probably the thing that's worth the most out of it, but I can sell this 2-shot extension. I think no problem. Maybe like $100 or something like that. Now let's just go through all the blue ones. So instead of looking at a sample, let's take a look at all of these. Sorry for all the clinking. But we saw them when they weren't oiled. Now let's check them out after being oiled. Again, oiling kind of cleans things up a little bit, makes it look a little nicer. Here's this one. The pitting. Okay, this one's pretty bad. So let's line them up from best to worst. So let's kind of move this one more on this side. Got another one. Pitting's not great. It's about the same as that first one we saw. Now, on the inside, I've looked through all of them. They all look really nice on the inside. So these things will, they will function just aesthetically. They may not look great. You will have to keep them oiled, but just like anything that's blued, you need to keep it oiled. But the pitting probably is a little bit more susceptible to rust than the rest of the surface. So this one doesn't look as bad. That's about the only part that's pitted. Everything else looks good. Also, a lot of the pitting is concentrated by the what do you call it, a lanyard hole? A sling holder, right? Or the sling loop. So a lot of this will actually get covered up, so it won't look too bad. So let's put this one to the left of these because it looks nicer. Again, one with a little bit of pitting. I would say this one's not as nice as that one we just looked at, so that goes over here. Again, some pitting. This one's not great. This is probably on the lower end of it. But where the metal matters also, like on the threads, there's no pitting on the threads or again on the inside. This one's got a little minor pitting here, here, and here. I would say this is probably the best one we've seen so far. This one just has some pitting here. Other than that, looks pretty good. I would say that is better than the one we just looked at. We got two more. I think this is the one that's the nicest. Oh yeah, this is the one that's the nicest. Just a little bit of pitting there, but nothing too crazy. You really cared about it, you could put this adjacent to the barrel, you wouldn't even see it, and this would look brand new. So that's probably our best one. And then last, decent amount of pitting here. This is not that deep of pitting, but it's not great. Strange that this part didn't blue very well, and also some minor pitting there. I think this is kind of in the middle, probably in the middle. So yeah, how did you think we did? We're going to start probably putting these on either Gunbroker, eBay. I don't exactly know yet. If any of you are interested, I'm going to sell the nicest ones. Those are going on eBay or Gunbroker or wherever. But if anyone is interested in one of the pitted ones and they say, you know what, I don't care, or you might want to try to fix it up yourself, or using it for like one of those police trades that have recently gone on the market that's also pitted, so it can kind of match it. Yeah, maybe we can talk and we can have a maybe a friends of the channel deal. But for the nicer ones, they're gonna probably go on the auction site so we can see if we can get the most from it. If we break even, I'll be happy. I think we have enough here, especially with the three nice ones, that we can probably at least make our money back. And all the other ones are probably just gravy. To kind of address one of the comments before, someone asked like, this is not worth it. If you really want more money, get a second job. Again, I want to reiterate that this channel is not meant to make money. We do make some money on ads. I'm a channel partner, but it is like nothing. I think we've been partnered for a month or two and we got like $30. We don't even have enough to actually cash out on it, and any of that money is going to get put straight back into the channel. As for the getting the second job, I am not I'm not in need for money. As you see from the channel, we buy a lot of useless shit. And that's because it's a hobby. My first priority is always, feeding me, feeding my wife or whatever, having a house, having healthcare, stuff like that. This is all just like secondary stuff that, this is the first stuff that would actually get thrown away if there were, hard times or anything like that. So then why are we doing this? Why are we trying to make money? So I think it's interesting to see if you can make money. It's just kind of a fun thing. Restoring things is something that I really like. I like to work with my hands. I like to kind of try to save things like this. And so I get a lot of happiness out of this sort of stuff. But I do not want to waste money. So as long as we kind of make our money, we're good. And if other people are interested in these, then we can try to, again, do a friends of a channel, like kind of discount. I'd be happy to share these sort of things, and do this work for someone that, wants a extension tube on their shotgun. But again, this is not going to be a channel about making money. There are some places where you can make money in milsurp, but again, it is a drop in the bucket compared to the money that you could be making by, training or education or things like that, and getting a better job or looking for a better job, making a lateral move, something like that. So in conclusion, really, you're not going to make that much money unless you do this on a large scale. And anyway, if you have any comments, or you have an 870 and you're looking for an extension tube, we can chat. Please leave a comment. If you're looking just for content that looks into military surplus, police surplus, discarded things that no one cares about, please subscribe. And if you like this sort of content, I would really appreciate a like. All right, with that, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye.